you doing? I'm back. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You ready to continue?
Yes, I am. Okay. I'm
Are
supposed to
you
do-
recording the conversation?
No, I'm not. I went to go get it so I can get ready for this impromptu meeting and to go to the restroom. And I have some questions.
Okay,
Regarding
just
the
want to make
document.
sure, one more time, I want to make sure I'm very clear though. Willie, are you recording this conversation?
No, I'm not recording the conversation.
Okay, all right, so Willie.
Is there an
your
issue with me
question-
recording the conversation? If I
No,
were to?
there's-
Okay, I didn't think so.
There's no issue, just want
Okay.
to make sure like, we're in the same page, so like me asking you the question though, and you indicating that that's not the case.
Okay,
So
and
your
would there be an
question-
issue with if I were recording the conversation?
Well, you say you're not though, so like, that will be
So
irrelevant,
shouldn't it
right?
be, yeah, okay, all right, here we go. All right, here we go.
So your question regarding the accusations, so like, you have had conversations with multiple individuals, also part of the organization that have not appreciate the nature of your comments and your comments. I will not go into detail about those comments or the folks involved with those investigations.
So
What other questions,
so
what other
one,
questions do you have? Yes.
okay, so, you saying you're not going into detail, but making a vague statement that asking inappropriate personal questions is problematic for me because I need to know what you're talking about, dates and times, because I have dates and times about conversations. And so if you're not telling me that, then I cannot tell you whether it can or cannot happen in my rebuttal. That's unfair for me. So if the allegation is that there are asking inappropriate personal questions, and what time is it? It's 1:31 p.m. And I'm asking you to detail the inappropriate personal questions, and you cannot, the dates and times, then it's a problem, especially if this is supposed to be a human resources document and part of the due process.
All right, Willie, one more time though. You have made comments.
What
and
comments?
questions. I'm not gonna elaborate once again though, to folks.
You're not going to
related
elaborate,
to-
or you can't elaborate.
I'm gonna finish though, so let's go ahead and let me finish. You have, once again though, you have made comments and remarks to folks within the organization regarding race, regarding individuals' positions, regarding individual performance, and that is as much as gonna elaborate. I'm gonna continue, even though you're not happy with my answer, I will continue.
No, that's
with the
okay.
rest.
That's okay.
Okay. So, as I was saying, as a 7-Eleven, we have zero tolerance for any form of intimidation, harassment. This included actions that create a hostile work environment. Such a behavior has no place in 7-Eleven. The expectation from Willie moving forward is to keep conversation with employees professionally and conduct himself in a way that inclusive to the leadership requirements of the store leader position that he was trained for. It is also expected that Willie use the appropriate resources available to him to make complaints, example, employee helpline or human resources personnel.
So the employee helpline is okay, but there is also a written line that I'm also supposed to be able to use for email for ethics, and I communicate better in writing than I do with speaking, and so that is
Absolutely.
so that is why I wanted the email that I asked for in order to be able to use to be able to make those complaints, and I have been emailing and CCing my area leader and I guess the employment relations person in order to be able to get things done.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem whatsoever. Yeah. Once again, this is just as an example. It could be employee
Right. So
helpline,
that's
the
using
email,
that
human
is using the
resources.
appropriate that is using the appropriate resources. And
Yeah, that's fine though. So
could you
there go.
detail
Cross
to
that one in
me?
the back.
Right. Could you detail to me how I've not used the appropriate resources and the dates and times that I have not done that?
I will not go into dates and times right now though, but like in the past, that has not apparently been the case. So that's the reason why we are clarifying. That sound like you are taking care of that. So that is basically taken care of, right? I mean, if you're using the resources and the channels that have been given to you to go ahead and communicate your concerns.
So then my question is, why is that in this final warning document? because that speaks of retaliation to me.
Well, that's not the intent or the reason behind
That
it
is the
whatsoever.
that is
It's
the
for
effect,
clarification, though. Okay.
and that is
So,
the effect that's going to be seen by others outside, also others inside. I get it that you have to do a document that has enough meat in it, but if you're saying now that it seems like the situation's been taken care of, why is it in this document?
because you're indicating it's taken care of, though, right? Though, didn't you say yourself?
It was taken care of previously. In my previous emails, I outlined why I used the ethics line and why I elevated the issues above that which I thought that we needed to be able to address.
Well, then, when you indicate others will see this document as such, so can you elaborate who exactly you're referring to?
I am consulting with other people regarding the situation that's happening here. I do not want to end up in litigation with 7-Eleven, but it seems like the handwriting is on the wall, especially with this document and the fact that you cannot elaborate on a couple of things that are problematic, that bypass the human resources due process and want to use vague explanations in order to be able to explain something when I have witnesses for every incident. Witnesses.
When you say others,
And that's okay.
once again, when you say others, once again, though, could you elaborate?
When it's necessary, I will elaborate.
That doesn't
I will
answer the question, though. Oh, you
Right.
pretty much you prefer not to answer the question. And that's fine, though. Hey, listen, you don't need to answer the question. I just want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to go ahead and be clear.
I am being clear. I do not want to enter into litigation with 7-Eleven. I want to do my
So
job.
you're indicating
But
that you're pretty much taking legal counsel by a third party.
is that a problem, sir?
I'm only trying to clarify things.
Right.
Really, though. I promise.
I'm looking at a
Listen,
human
we-
resources document, Juan,
Correct.
that does not include details that human resources usually include. And that is
so
dates
I'm
and
gonna
times
go
of
ahead.
offenses. Okay, that's
Willie.
fine.
I'm gonna go to the next one, though.
Okay, proceed.
So it is also expected that Willie will begin addressing the performance issues mentioned above, taking the appropriate actions on steps to build his team and provide a clean in-stock experience for our customers.
Yes.
Next step, though, the purpose of this warning is to coach Willie on effective and appropriate communication in the workplace to avoid creating an uncomfortable environment for those around him. We encourage Willie to maintain professional communication with his coworkers and customers. Failure to follow the expectation policy and standards could result in the following consequences. Failure to follow the expectation will result in further disciplinary action up to including separation.
When you say effective and appropriate communication, exactly what are you talking about as far as with customers? Because I need to know exactly what you're talking about. Are you talking about not asking people to remove their hood? Are you talking because I'm doing things that are standard as far as retail in Tavis, you say it's not standard?
Removing their hoodies or leaving their bags somewhere, putting notes on doors is not
Willie,
standard.
so
It was done at one of his other stores. I have his area.
Willie, there are ways to go around things, right? So like when we're talking about communicating it properly, that with dignity, with respect, though,
Right.
just doing things right.
Okay, so the allegation is that I'm not communicating with dignity and respect. That's the allegation.
The allegation is that you have had conversation with multiple entities of the organization that have made them feel uncomfortable based on the nature of your comments. So the ones that you're asking me for further details are the ones that I will not be providing right now.
Right,
What other
so,
questions do you have?
right, I understand that, Juan. So,
Okay.
in the event that we move towards having other parties discuss this, you will have to provide all of that information to them. When you do that, I will be able to systematically date and time exactly what happened with witnesses, and that seems like it's not going to matter as far as this document is concerned. I'm wondering, why would it matter to an outside party and not matter to 7-Eleven in the prevention of litigation?
You will have to ask your third party. sorry, I'm not gonna go ahead and entertain that question whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
So, okay. So due process, okay. All right, that's fine. Let's see. Could you give me?
May I say something very quickly, Willie?
Yes, you can.
Listen, Willie, you and I don't know each other. This is, if anything, the first time that we interact with each other, besides the email and the missed call that I got from you yesterday. Willie, like, we need you more than anything else. We need all our employees deeply. It will be a dismissal to say, though, that clearly we have not been able to agree on a bunch of different things. So, seems like it, right? But nevertheless, though, even though this will not be perceived as such, though, I mean, we want to work with you. We want to go ahead and just find a happy medium to go ahead and move forward and get things taken care of, though. Unfortunately, we continue struggling doing that, though. And furthermore, though, even though that you're gonna ask me again, though, for the detail of the comments and things like that, though, it have been brought to our attention from parties, though, that have not been, that don't have nothing to do with leadership about some of your comments. So unfortunately, we need to address that.
So if you
understand that you, let me finish, please.
Sure.
I understand that you may not believe that this is fair. You may believe a bunch of different things, and I get it. I understand your perspective and your angle, but I mean, we're just trying to go ahead and run a business. We're just trying to go ahead and take care of our customers and our team. So, and you know, and that is it, though. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay.
Again, and I respect and understand that you may not see it that way, though, and it's not a statement to go ahead and be overly dissected, though, but it's just putting out there that we really, really want to go ahead and just get work done and just pretty much go ahead and take care of business, so nothing more, nothing less.
So I want more than to do that too, but I want to be evaluated fairly. I have statements. I have statements from employees that say that there are managers that have colluded to be able to stoke this narrative by sending people over with misinformation. And so I can't address any of these allegations in my rebuttal if I don't have specifics. And that's the problem that puts me at a disadvantage. And that would be the thing that's really actionable, because it's very vague to say inappropriate personal questions about race, comments about race and ethnicity and gender are not inappropriate in a corporate arena. I come from corporate America, and not just this job. Comments rebutting people that are saying different ideas about several things are it's not a problem. It is actually part of 7-Eleven policy to be able to discuss vigorously. So I'm not really understanding exactly what the disconnect is between me saying something and then someone else calling someone short man in the chat. So I'm trying to figure out what the difference is from the inappropriate conversations that make people uncomfortable. Once you clarify that for me, I will have a metric as to what not to say, when to say, how to say it, because I will know then that for this particular group, this is okay, but for this group, it's not okay. So in this particular instances, I can say this, but for coming from me, it's going to be misconstrued. I need to know that metric. Without the right information and specifics, I'm at a disadvantage. So if we're really about developing me, okay.
No, I was apologizing. I interrupted you. My bad. Go ahead.
If you're really about developing me to be able to fulfill this metric, then provide me with details so I can provide you with the exact information. Because if it doesn't come out here, it's going to come out later. I'd rather for it to come out here prior to us moving to an area that's going to make everybody uncomfortable.
Unfortunately, I think we're ready there, right there, based on your statement. So, once again, though, you come from corporate America, and we, technically speaking, know are things that are very comfortable to be communicated or said among people, and which one other ones are not, though. For the sake of the investigation, for the sake of all these other entities that have shared some of those concerns, so we're not going to go into detail at this given point, as you mentioned, though. If we need to go into any other given point, though, into further detail behind that, though, we'll definitely do that accordingly though. But at this point, once again, though, I'm not gonna go ahead and elaborate into some of those comments that you have made, though, that you have made some folks
That I
feel
allegedly
uncomfortable.
have made, because I need to.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, because until I get dates and times and who said what and what was supposed to be said, it must all be alleged.
Correct. All right. Fair enough. Though. Any other questions?
Yeah. No.
Alright, well,
This is in work day, and I'm going to be able to rebut the prop. Okay.
Is the work done what again?
This is going to be in work day, and I'll be able to rebut it, provide a rebuttal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he can make comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what code of business conduct are you talking about? Are you talking about, because Tavis mentioned the hoods, and there's a code of business conduct that I can prove has been used by 7-Eleven and other C-stores in other regions. So
Well,
is
these
that,
stores around the region, though, basically do not apply to the organization. Code of conduct, we're referring to the entire code of conduct. Not just one thing or another. Because, there are multiple different sections within the code of conduct that come into play here, furthermore than just the example that was pretty much just mentioned.
right, but you're missing intimidation or harassment. I need examples of that, because that's a pretty big allegation. And I'm not someone who does intimidation and harassment of anyone. I ask for clarification, I ask questions, but intimidating and harassing people, it's not me. And I have character witnesses from the corporation I used to work for, and other professionals that will say, no, that's not him. So what harassment, I need to know. I'm at a disadvantage. You have me here in an impromptu meeting with a document that's not giving me specifics, and you don't want to go into them. But in order for me to be able to rebuttal it correctly, because a rebuttal is what's going to come along whenever all of these are pulled together. My rebuttal is also going to come.
So, from the standpoint of intimidation and harassment, Willie,
Yeah.
they could be basically as simple as just comments that make people feel uncomfortable. Nothing more, nothing less, though. So,
Okay.
comments that will make people feel uncomfortable, though, could be categorized as intimidation or harassment.
Okay. So as is 7-Eleven policy, if I understand it correctly, that if someone says something that makes someone uncomfortable, the first line of defense is to be able to speak to that person if they're comfortable and say, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. How many people who have reported that has said that they have said to me, look, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation?
That have told you that?
Yeah, that don't have told you that they've communicated that to me. I'm sorry you thought this was going to be a slow, quick meeting.
Oh, no, I do apologize.
Yeah.
I think you're going to go ahead and tell us how this is going to go.
No,
Like,
sir, I'm not
we are
telling
where
you.
we are, though.
I'm not telling you
We
how
are?
it's going to go. I'm
Okay.
just asking you a question.
I
And it
know,
seems
I'm
like you.
telling
It seems
that,
like you
though,
wanted
we're
to.
not gonna,
Yeah.
not gonna go ahead and elaborate on some of these things, Willie, that we simply won't. So, but you're absolutely right, though. You do gonna have through workday, through the email channels, to go ahead and just send back whatever you have. You indicated yourself that you have statements of folks and this and that about other circumstances, though, or you mentioned colluded or something. If you do not share that information to us, though, on a timely manner, though, or even when you capture that, or indicate any kind of knowledge of those circumstances for us to be able to address, make it kind of impossible for us to address, right?
I've shared it with Shelton. One incident yesterday was when a store leader sent a person over to the store allegedly to apply for a job, but apparently she already is working for 7-Eleven, but that's not the way she presented it. Then she went and told Shelton that I spoke down to her, and I have a witness that says that that's not how that happened at all. And it is not how that happened.
All right. So,
I also have an incident of, I'm sorry. I just want to go into these.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I also have an incident of a person who has been coming to the store who says that they used to be a manager, who said that they have problems with every other management that comes into the store, and has been coming into the store harassing. And it got to the point where I felt so uncomfortable that I called the police about this person. and gave the police a description. Police came, got the description. They come back doing it again. I now am able to transfer. I have given all the information to Shelton. Every time I call the police, Shelton is, before Shelton even mentioned it in our meeting, when I had to call the police, I have let him know.
Alright, so just to make sure that you say like the police department is okay to say it was okay to transfer you, is that what you're saying? I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second.
You said something about transfer, Willie, and he's trying to put the pieces together.
Trespass.
Trespass, yes, absolutely. I mean, like, listen, with it.
It sounded like transfer. That's what I thought you said.
So that, my apologies, I misunderstood. Listen, Willie, like your safety and the safety of our team members is our top priority, right? So yes, if anybody is going there, though, due to X, Y, or Z or previous history, and they're making you or anybody feel uncomfortable, absolutely, though, we follow and we trespass, so we do whatever we need to do, though. I'm like, we will definitely stand behind you and ensure that everybody is okay on that front. So please, by no means whatsoever, have any kind of limitations to that. When, of course, our policies and our procedures. So when it comes to like your first example, the police investigate and address accordingly and go from there, though. Like, that's where we're at, Willie. I mean, like, you bring problems to our attention, we're gonna go ahead and address them, though. But we need to go ahead and just take care of business too at the same time, though.
I have addressed the situations that you said we cannot do with it. I have addressed it with Shelton, and so I elevated it as is appropriate when I thought there were ethical issues.
Okay.
So all right, okay.
Related to this document, any other questions, Willie?
No.
All right.
What is the time frame of this? I see 3/10. What's the time frame for? Time frame for review for this document. As with any final warning, there's a time frame for review where the document is going to be retired. Is it 6 months? Is it 5 weeks?
This is gonna basically remain with you, though. This is a final warning right now, though. That's it, though. It's not 5 weeks, 6 days, 90 days, though. There's a final warning and basically a notification, though, that we expect you to go ahead and comply with the company policy, especially those one associated with the code of conduct.
Okay, so this is where I am confused. So,
okay.
And I need the metrics broke down. So in an email.
These are the matrix, though.
Right. So.
Yeah, gotta be very clear, though.
Right.
You need
so.
to conduct yourself in the workplace, though, in a professional manner, though, and ensure, though, that whenever you have conversation with folks, though, that they may indicate to you, though, that they don't feel comfortable, understand where you're coming from. You pretty much stop this conversation, so.
Okay, so that is the question that I'm
there.
asking you. That's the question I'm asking you because I know that that's policy. When has that happened? Do you have the time that that's happened? Because that's the first line of defense, and I have never heard that.
I don't know. Okay, that's okay though. To your point, that's your prerogative on it though, and that is respected. That's why you want to stand by. That totally respect that. That's perfectly fine. You can just in your signature or in the comments on the workday or by email indicate though that you feel like that has not been the case. So, and like you totally disagree with it. If that's why you truly believe that has occurred.
Well, it hasn't occurred that someone says, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation.
Really,
yeah.
I mean, okay, that's fine though. So just communicate that. If that's what you believe though, that's perfectly fine. So just communicate that.
Okay, all right, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
No, and it's in workday and I'll be able to address it. So this is my issue right now.
Okay.
I have a new store that I have been placed over. There have been staffing difficulties. I have outlined those difficulties in my email. In order to be able to keep a clean and maintained store, I need to be able to get staff. I do not have access to Workday and also be able to address some issues that are also happening. I have Paradox, so I can hire, but I don't have Workday to be able to address some other issues. And right now, the assistant manager that came from Jillian's store, She called out. She had an emergency.
So your question is?
How am I going to be able to get support to be able to make sure I get the staffing? Because of the expectation. One of the things that's mentioned are, I've been at this store. How long have I been at this store, Shelton?
I guess about, what's today's date? Probably about 4 or 5 weeks.
No, 4 or 5 weeks? No. I have not been at this store 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, then you tell me.
So, when's the first day that you had me at that store? Was I think the last week of February?
No.
I've done paperwork at that store, and you can check the camera.
Okay, so hold on. Let me stop you for a second though.
Sure.
Shelton,
Yes.
please send me send me an email with whatever access Willie currently still don't have to. I will get that taken care of today though.
Okay.
Willie,
Yes.
assistant store leader call out today though.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
That is the nature of our business, unfortunately.
I get it. I get
so
that.
As soon we get you the access that you need and things like that though, you are the store leader, are responsible to go ahead and staff the store and things like that though. If you're very much having any particular struggle when it comes to that though, indeed, reach out to Shelton, reach out to Tavis to see if we can reroute resources into you as the store leader of the location, maneuver around the obstacles to get properly staffed.
Thank you. I have done that, Juan.
I know, and it sounds like it because it sounds like they sent an assistant store leader to your store to help out, and he's helping out, but unfortunately has some kind of emergency. Thank you. Apologies.
No problem.
Unfortunately, today something happened and she wasn't able to go to work, but it sounds like you have a little bit of structure there though. So fair, very loud and clear. I will personally be involved to go ahead and get you the access that you need though. I will make my mission for the remainder of the day to ensure that is correct. And why has not happened? We unfortunately have some very limited access at times to some of the systems that is very frustrating for all of us, in particular to you clearly, and to our folks in the store. So that is not right. We need to address that, but we'll definitely work to take care of that today.
Okay. All right. I have someone that's coming in. There was a staff that was hired named Josh and tried to reach him, Joshua, and could not reach him. And ironically, the person who hired him reached him today. And I sent a message over asking for his number, never got a response.
Who was that person?
That's Jillian, and Joshua is a guy.
But who's the person that hired this person for you?
Jillian. She said she hired him, and Jillian is the previous manager of the current store I am at.
Okay.
She is also the young lady, the manager that sent over the 2 young women who said that they would not work for me because of my attitude, in which I have witnesses as to how they.
Hold on.
Sure.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just I don't want to go ahead from one thing to another. So Shelton, can you help get the phone number of this individual though?
Yeah, the same phone number that he has is the same phone number that we have on file for him. The number that Willie's tried to reach out to him on.
Alright, so Willie, you have the number though, so okay.
I have a number, but apparently there is another avenue because he's answered Jillian's phone call and has not returned the phone call, or me nor Shelton.
Okay, so
Has he returned your phone call, Shelton?
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
So
But apparently,
unfortunately, this person, I get it, but I just don't want us to just keep leaving things open, unclosed. Sounds like this person is it's not a good fit for us, all right? If you guys can get in touch with him though, but he can get in touch with somebody else. Maybe he's not a good fit for us, so chapter closed. So let's move on to the next person though.
Yeah.
These other 2 employees that don't want to work for you. I don't know anything about that though. You say that they claim one thing, you say that you're claiming something else. All right, well, what's the solution there though? They're not working there though?
They're not working. They're working for Jillian. Again, these are people that Jillian hired. She says for my store. The problem is that I have a statement from a cashier that said that Jillian preempted these 2 employees before they got to my store not to listen to me and all kind of negative stuff. Yeah, that's that. I have a statement.
Okay.
And so when they got there was a problem.
You have that statement? Shelton has that statement too, or you have that statement to your possession only.
I will get it, have it drawn up because it looks like I'm going to need it.
Okay, so once again, though, you said you had a statement, though. Now you
I
said you're
do.
gonna
I do
go
have the
ahead,
statement. I every time I mention that I have documentation, I mention it to Shelton. I ask him if he would like it to be emailed.
Okay, so once again, Willie, though, you say you have a statement from somebody,
I
though,
do.
indicating one thing, and then asking you who has a statement, you say you need to draft it, though. So, like, I mean, are we talking about past tense, present tense? So, like, I mean, what exactly are we talking about
That Jose, I have the witness.
there?
Juan.
It's Juan, though.
Juan.
It's not Jose, though.
I have
So
the
it sounds like
witness.
you're pretty much avoiding the question, though, from
No.
the standpoint of why it's being communicated to what has actually been drafted to the statement, as you have indicated.
I have to get them to draft the statement, and I will
Okay,
get them
so
to do
there's
that.
no such thing as a statement, though, from the standpoint of black and white. I see what you're saying, though. Like,
It's verbal.
To, like, just be tricky. Exactly. Like,
Right.
I just wanted to, like, just clarify it, though. But you just mentioned multiple times that you have a statement with dates and things, though, so it will make anybody
Yes.
perceive such thing as actual written statement, though, versus a
Yes.
verbal statement.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
give whatever you have to Shelton, and we'll address that accordingly. The same way that we have addressed everything else that you have brought to our attention. We may address it on matters that you do not see, that you will not agree, but we will definitely address it, though. So anyway, so in recap, when it comes to, like, you know, you being set up for success, though, and you being giving the support that you need from the standpoint of a staffing purposes and things like that, yeah, I mean, we'll work with you, but at the same time, you need to do something with your own, and as well as the store leader of that location.
Exactly,
Is that
and
a
I
fair
am.
statement?
Yes, it is a fair statement,
Awesome.
and let me make sure I get this right because I keep forgetting it. Okay, Juan. Let's see. The AP binder. I was trained on the AP binder once, and then that's not how adult learning works. I know because I taught. You don't train someone on something once, have them sign off on it, and expect it to be performed excellently, especially when you know they have a disability and difficulty. And it seems like that's a source of contention that is difficult for leadership to be able to understand. But I know it's settled law, and I know that if there's not an accommodation in place, if I'm working to do the metrics of the job, then I have to be accommodated. And I'm working to do that. Now, this AP binder was taught once. I am going to work on getting mastery of that issue, and I'm wondering why is it becoming an issue in a performance evaluation, but that's okay. I'll address that. Incomplete or missing inventory orders. I have the times in which I've asked for assistance with the inventory orders. In my training, I never did an inventory order on myself except in RIS. I did it in RIS often. PDI, you can ask the training manager how many times I was able to actually complete an actual, maybe once, but that's not how adult learning works. You need to practice it in order to be able to achieve mastery. Let's see what else here. So some of these are part of the learning curve for a new SLT is actually in a store. Now, with that being said, there is additional processing difficulty that I have that they know about. One of the things that I've explained to you guys, is that when you tell me to use this employee helpline and it's verbal only, like I explained to Michael, that doesn't work for me. I do much better with written. So I'm going to do a rebuttal, and this is what it is. I want to make sure that we're on the same page, just making sure I have the support and make sure that I'm going to be evaluated appropriately.
You are, definitely, though.
Because anyone could come into the store and say he did such and such and what and so, and say, oh, that's it.
Fair statement.
And that's not okay.
So do us and do yourself a favor and just go ahead and just do the job that you clearly are more than equipped and capable of doing for us, though.
I am going to try to do that, but I don't want to.
Just keep working towards that, though. We just need to basically ensure that we're on the same page when it comes to the things that are illustrated here. Hey, listen, I've been out of operations for a little while though, but the AP binder is very straightforward though. Like, I mean, it doesn't require that much training. It's just pretty much like just understanding though that the task is handled, like the things that need to be validated and verified, and repetition pretty much is what pretty much take care of things. So, like you said,
So you are agreeing that repetition is what? Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I mean, to your point, you've been in the store for a couple of weeks.
No, I have not, sir. I'm going to send you.
For a couple of weeks.
I'm going to send you the exact date I got to the store. There's also an issue of the training metrics, and the training metrics. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
We don't find issues with everything, right? Though, based on what you're saying.
It sounds like that's what we're doing here. We're finding issues with everything. So since we're doing that, there are other issues that need to be addressed that are inconsistent with, according to 7-Eleven, their standards for training.
Okay, awesome. So once again, send all that stuff to our direction, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other question associated with the memo that is in front of you right now that we've been going over now almost 45 minutes through?
I'm sorry if you wanted it to be quicker, but when you spring a meeting on someone, right? Thank you.
Sure, if you want to stay here for another 2 hours, by all means, let's do it though. But like, we just need to go ahead and address this though.
Are you moving forward? Are you going to keep me under Shelton?
We have indicated already multiple times the answer to that question.
Right. And do you think that Shelton is going to be able to evaluate me appropriately given what's happened before?
We, as an organization, do not operate through silos. So
right.
It's not just a Shelton situation. It's a situation that takes multiple different entities to go ahead and make decisions and evaluate performance and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that answers your question from the standpoint of like only one person is going to evaluate your performance.
Okay. Only one person?
No, I think my statement just answered your question that not only one person will be evaluating your performance.
Okay. All right. It's going to take. What's the time frame for my rebuttal?
Listen, like, I mean, really, like, if you feel that you want a rebuttal by next week, though, that's your prerogative right there, though. That's your opinion, though. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, though, we are where we at, though, regardless of how much you or us dislike.
I get it.
Though. So, like, I mean, if you feel like you need to take a week to go ahead and collect the statements, the written statement from some of these entities that you refer to that you may not currently have, though, even though you kind of sound like you did, though. Like, I mean, you know, it's up to you.
Statements don't have to be written. They can be verbal, and they can be just as viable.
Indeed. Right. I'm not dismissing them, though. I'm just saying, though, the way that you illustrated made it sound like you had them, though.
Mm-hmm.
From the standpoint of like a black and white, though, but maybe it was just simply my
that's
understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. It's all fair. Mm-hmm. So we are where we are, though. One thing I just want to make sure that I'm very clear from the standpoint of code of conduct. I mean, it's very important that you understand that the nature of your conduct that has been mentioned already back in 1226, so on the January 22nd, though,
mm-hmm.
that behavior is pretty much addressed. So. Okay.
I have some specific questions about what you do not want me to do. So are you telling me you do not want me to ask people to remove their hoods when they come into the store? Are you telling me that?
Yes, I'm telling you that.
Okay, all right. So Tavis is saying that hoods are allowed in the store. Okay. If a situation occurs when we are robbed or something happens adverse and the police need to be able to identify the assailant, what happens if they're hooded and they're not able to identify? That's a fair question.
Is it?
Yeah. Especially for the region.
What happens when you go to Walmart? You get region on, do they make you take it off? You go to Target, they make you take it off. They go to Circle K, they make you take it off.
This is the store.
They don't make you take it up in the other C-store.
They do.
No, they
Quick
don't.
Trip, they
I've
don't.
been in them for 20 years.
On Q, they don't.
Circle K, no, they
There you
don't.
go.
Pilot Travel Centers, Love Stops, no, they don't.
Alright, so Willie, to answer to your question is as follows, though. The law enforcement will find different avenues to go ahead and conduct their investigation accordingly, though. We do not have no jurisdiction within like the local law enforcement or how they're gonna go ahead and proceed their investigation. What's your
Okay.
other question?
So allow goods, that's fine. Am I allowing large bags into the store? Although, I have a manager that says she has signs up in Shelton's region and that she has the signs up so they're not being targeted. Has Brandy taken her signs down?
I don't know. I'm not in Brady's store right now.
Right, but you don't want me to have the large bag sign down. And Brandy is
I
a
don't want
person
the
who
hard
said that.
times. I don't want them
Alright,
to
let me
use.
answer that question.
Okay.
So Willie,
Okay.
no signage that has not been pretty much
Okay.
approved by the organization, though.
So Brandy